Hello and welcome. This is a In the Money Media YouTube channel production talking about the races at Churchill Downs. Make sure you get involved in some of the contests at twinspires.com. There's some really good ones involved on Saturday. If you get up early enough, you can play in a Royal Ascot Challenge, which I've thought would always be fun to play in these contests, Royal Ascot. And we don't have all the information, but still a lot of fun. You can find some stuff to get involved with there. There's some Belmont feeders. There's Churchill feeders. We're going to talk about some of the Churchill stuff that we can do. Obviously, the big goal around the corner is that Stephen Foster challenge that's going to be on June 27th, $3,500 Stephen Foster challenge. So make sure you're participating in contest at twinspires.com to get yourself into there. There's nothing better than qualifying into a contest and scoring in that contest. It feels like you're playing with free money. If I was playing in the contest on TwinSpires involving Churchill on Saturday, I would build a lot of my play around the late part of the card, not the late pick three, but three races in a row, not including the last. So we'll start in race 7. I think there's an opportunity. A horse like French Blue, anytime Bob Baffert shows up, people love to get involved. And I'm just not sure how good French Blue is. You get Iriad Ortiz to help kind of help the horse take some money and make the horse a little bit more of an attractive option to beat. I think the horses that I want to start with, obviously, are the two Will Walden runners, Grand Oz and Grand Lux. I think both of those are horses that come in off of wins. And I think that Will Walden, his win percentage, I think is something you have to pay attention to. His horses are running extremely well. I think he does an outstanding job. When you talk to him and you hear him talk about his horses individually, you could tell that he's really tuned in, paying attention. His team, the operation, I think we'll be hearing about Will Walden for a long time to come. And anytime I see horses that he has, I'm always looking for them to take steps forward. So I think both of those horses are options and opportunities to move forward, whether you're trying to play exactas with a horse like French Blue out or not. Going Steady is a horse that I think you'll probably end up working out an okay price in, is a horse that I want to have in the mix. I thought ran well last time and, probably moved a little bit early. Anytime a horse can kind of make the lead and then end up losing it, sometimes it could go back to rider error or something that maybe the rider can correct next time around. And then Moonlight Dash. This would probably be my top choice in here to try to beat French Blue, the 3. Moonlight Dash is one that, 2 races back at Churchill Downs in November. Source was sensational. Right, got a fast number, ran extremely well, was very impressive. Then comes back and doesn't run all that well. But one of the things, I don't like to see it because I certainly never want to see a horse go to the sideline. But when I'm trying to make a case for a horse off of a poor performance, is a layoff after a poor performance. That makes me feel like the way that Moonlight Dash ran last time was based on an issue that led to the horse having 6 months off. I feel very confident in saying something like that without even knowing it. So I'm looking for Moonlight Dash to potentially run back to that number 2 back when there wasn't an issue present. So in race 7, that allowance race, I'm going to try to beat the 5 with a combination of things, seeing how the board comes up, but specifically the 3 Moonlight Dash. I'll use a 4, 7, and the 8 as well in the mix. Maybe some exactas, 3 with 4, 7, 8, and then exactas 4, 7, 8 with 3, and just try to get French Blue out of that. Assuming that French Blue takes the money that I would assume a Bob Baffert type will take. If French Blue doesn't take any money, I don't have the morning line yet, then I could be completely wrong. And I still think there'll be some value there, but you have to take a look. In race 8, there's an optional claiming race on the grass, and there's a couple horses in here that I think are interesting. The 9, De Prince is Right, is getting back to the grass for Mike Maker, and Ricardo Santana is one that I think will be an interesting type to use. But my main play is around 2 stretch-out sprinters, one in particular. I'll use the 4 Snare. I like inside turf sprint stretch-outs when they draw inside, because I think 2 things can happen. When you're a stretch-out type and you turf sprinted, you usually have enough tactical speed to be able to hold position, get out of jackpots, and get into that pocket spot down on the inside. the other thing about that is when you get to the inside, you obviously get to save ground. The geometry of it all when you're stretching out, another positive. The other thing I like from inside draws, stretch outs, is that you get in behind horses and there's an opportunity for then a horse to shut off, save that energy and sit in the pocket and follow another horse getting cover. You probably heard cover a few times this week with Royal Ascot. And I think Snare is one of those types, but specifically, I think the one Mega Magic is the horse that I would kind of key in here as a horse that I thought ran well last time, was a big price, but ran well, got a nice figure. And I'm hoping that this inside draw, a rider like Louis Saez, who's going to be a little bit aggressive to hold that position, will be able to stay on the inside, save ground, get cover. And then when they turn for home, it's a sprint for home. And I'm going to have a sprinter and the one Mega Magic who's taking the blinkers off. That's another spot that I would like to get involved in. And then keep an eye out for the 13 to draw in. It's only also eligible right now, but if the 13 draws in, keep an eye out there. And then in race 9, you know, if people ever follow the way I play contests, I like to play doubles. There's other things that you can do, big win bets, things like that. Race 9, I think, is an opportunity to do something like that. With Eclatant, the 2, I think, is a huge standout in this race. Not 100% sure what the price will be. I feel like there's enough other horses in here that are hovering that'll take some money. But I think if you could take Eclatant, get alive to that horse in a double, or if you've built your bankroll to a certain extent, be able to just make an all-in push on a win play on Eclatant, I think that there's some value there because I think that horse is a complete standout in this group. Make sure you check out the contest at Twin Spires basically every day of the week. Definitely on Saturday. There's a bunch of good feeders in there. And don't forget about that Stephen Foster betting challenge, the kind of the next big event that they've got going on. That will be June 27th, $3,500 entry. Stephen Foster Day is looking like it's going to be outstanding with some of the horses that are pointing towards the Stephen Foster and the undercard races as well. I am not going to do May You Win All Your Photos, even though I do hope that you win all your photos. I'll leave that to Pete, but he's busy in Royal Ascot. So good luck in your photos. We'll see you soon.